on, guys? Welcome to the Wing and Tail Boys podcast. I'm your host, Chris.
Angelo.
And we're here to bring you content from the Northeast, hunting and fishing and all things outdoors, in a working man's way of enjoying the outdoors. Our goal is to bring you content and to help you enjoy what you enjoy in the outdoors with the limited time that you have and making the most out of what you have. And what we're looking to do is we're looking to be the voice of the Northeast. To be honest with you, we feel that it can be forgotten at times. So we'd like to bring some light to the Northeast. Angelo?
Yeah, I think the Northeast is just overlooked. The Appalachian Mountains, the Catskill Mountains, you've got the Blue Ridge Mountains all up and down the East Coast of the United States. I mean, we got the mountain bucks, and, a lot of these guys that are out west, they're pulling up these 150 class deers, 200 class deers. And, it's nice when you have a field full of corn or soybeans or something out in your backyard or down the block. And it's just, dime a dozen every time you're outside. You could see 5 to 10 deer depending on where you're sitting in the woods. But in the mountains, you got to work for it, and that's something that we've had to learn the hard way with the limited time that we've started to really kind of put our effort into finding these deer. And I think that we could really just collaborate with each other and collaborate with other people who are around this area to really bring down the small details of what it is to kind of get into these bucks beds, or they're into their living rooms, and find out what they're doing, what sign they're leaving behind, and really kind of get an intimate knowledge of these animals and the way that they work.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that for me is the most enjoyable part of hunting. It's the act of the hunt, and trying to outsmart this animal that has been designed to beat us in every way, and somehow finding a way to be successful. And I'll be kind of honest with you, I'm a little worried about opening the door for the Northeast up here, because I think we actually have a little bit better stock than people give us credit for, as far as quality of deer and turkey and bear and such. Now, some of the things that we would like to do on this podcast is bring to light some of our local shops. I think in today's day and age, a lot of things are done online, and we're losing that personal touch with the outdoors. So talking to local hunters, local shop owners, people who are willing to help you, have the knowledge to guide you. And, if we're trying to save time and be as successful as possible, then giving ourselves a head start, or stacking as many variables in our favor, anyone can benefit from that. So if we can help to benefit the local community and also benefit our listeners and anyone who may be looking for our information, I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely need to grow the sport. We need to get more kids involved. We need to get more women involved. The kids, we all know these days, are just inside on video games, doing whatever they can to keep themselves busy. But, it might not be their fault. They might not have an influence in their lives that's helping them get out. And one of the, mantras I like to live by is experience the wild. You know what I mean? Like, not just get out there and be in nature. And, it's nice to throw a Instagram post of you next to a stream, or, whatever it ends up being. But, being out there and experiencing what's actually around you. You know what I mean? One of the best things that I can always tell new hunters, or people that always ask me whether they might not even be hunters, and they say, what really is something that draws you to it, other than, the hunting aspect of it. And the one story I always tell is, walking in the woods in the middle of the dark, walking to get set up in the morning, you're the only thing that's really making noise. I mean, you will be surprised at how quiet and how still the woods are when the sun is down. And things are just trying to live their lives. They're not trying to be seen. They're trying to do their daily routine. And you get set up in the tree, and then 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is, goes by, and the sun starts to come up. And having experienced that silence, you start to see how much noise and how many things are going on around you, from insects to birds to squirrels to large game. It comes to life, and it honestly is almost deafening when you experience that silence. And that's one of the best things I feel like is something that people should experience, because that keeps me coming back. And one of the other things too about this channel is we're not just going to be focusing on deer hunting. I know the first impression we've given is something, we definitely love deer hunting, and we're going to be doing that too. But we love all aspects of the outdoors. We like just even being outdoors, whether it's hiking or camping, fishing, waterfowl, just going for a hike, even whatever it ends up being. That's what we want to be doing, and we want to represent those people, and we want to meet those people out there in the woods. You know what I mean, and give a voice to those people, hopefully, and build that community back, because I think that's what's lacking. And if we can build that community back, obviously we know, a lot of our dollars that we spend in this sport goes to these fees, goes to these states, and it helps maintain our wild areas, and that's something that we need to focus on.
Sure. Now, you touched on two really cool things, and the listeners may not believe us here, but we've actually never had this conversation before. And that story that you told about walking through the dark and things coming alive, I've told that story countless times, even written it in essays in college, where people will ask, how could you possibly sit in a tree for hours on end? And same thing. You're walking through the woods in the dark, and you know that everything around you can see you, but you can't see anything around you. You can't hear anything around you. And then you climb up this tree, and you're just sitting there quietly, sometimes an hour or two before daylight comes. And just before the sun starts to break over those trees, you start to see and hear the woods come alive. You start to hear the birds chirping and the squirrels running through the leaves, and you may hear a deer walking or whatever the case may be. But it's amazing how in that first half hour of daylight, or that first hour of the sun rising, you just see this whole orchestra of the woods come to life. And I just absolutely love that experience. Now, the other thing you touched on is that we're not going to be just deer hunting oriented. And I agree. And what's really cool is that we got our start in deer hunting, and we have our own experiences and our own successes. But I would say, as of the last few years, we've really started diving into tactics and really trying to locate a quality of deer that we haven't really had the drive to try to locate in the past. And what's really cool is we're also looking to get into other aspects of hunting. We want to get involved in the turkey hunting and bear hunting, and now that we have this property in New York, which we're going to talk about a lot in the future, but we have the ability to go grouse hunting now, and we're opening the window to all these different types of hunting that we don't currently have experience in, but we're going to grow our knowledge. And with that, I think our listeners can relate to us as well. Listeners that are coming to learn this. And instead of having to listen to a professional, so to speak, they're learning along with us. And I think that those are stories and experiences that we're going to be able to share with one another, and also be able to share with our listeners. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. Like you touched on just briefly, it's like, you want to learn from experts, and you want to go in and you want to find data, and you want to, for the working class individual like ourselves, like the people who are probably going to be listening to this podcast, you don't want to go out and waste your money. You want to understand what products are actually going to work for me. You can't just go out and try a sight for a bow until you buy it. And, maybe you can return it. But, a lot of times people are just going to try to make what they got work, because they don't have the time to continue to mess with these things. August comes around and deer season's right around the corner, and people start, the bow lanes in your local archery store, or there's a line out the door to practice their bows if they don't have an area where they can shoot it themselves, and people are lined up to get their arrows fletched or whatever ends up being. So we want to make sure that what we do, we're able to tell people, listen, we've seen what the experts are doing. All right. We're going to put it to the test. We're going to find out, BS or not. Right. So what are they doing? Do I need to go out and spend $1,000 on a bow, or will the $4.99 bow that I can get at, the local shop on sale, or at Walmart, or on sale, maybe online, can I make that work for me? Is it going to be something that's actually going to be legitimate? Because a lot of these, people who are pushing product, they're going to make you say, oh, anything less than this is going to be basically garbage. Right. And they're just selling product, right? And the more expensive the product, the higher the profit they probably make. So, we're going to do it. We're going to see what it really takes. We're going to get in there, and we're going to show you guys firsthand, no cuts, no faking, right? And we're just going to show you how it is. If it's hard, we're going to tell you it's hard. If it's easy, we're going to tell you it's easy. And trust me, if we could do it, you can do it.
Yeah. I love that, and that's really the point of this, right? Again, working man, we work, we have daily lives, we work Monday through Friday, so whatever we can do to maximize the time that we have to put into this is, I think, what everyone out here is looking for. And I don't want to get too much further into all this, because I want to dive into them, right? So Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up this first episode? Maybe talk about some of the things that might be coming down the pipe, or do we want to just surprise everybody?
I mean, no, yeah, we don't want to give away the bag on the first date, right? So let's we can wrap it. And I'm looking forward to, building this community and kind of getting to know some of the people that are in the Northeast that can, shed some light on the experiences that they've had and maybe hopefully build some relationships with these people, and we can get out in the woods and we can see them and hopefully be successful, because that's what we're all here for, right? We want to put food on the table. We're not here to just spend our time and have it be for nothing.
Sure. So I want to thank everyone who got to the end of this, who listened. Yeah. Oh, I just want to take a second to thank everybody who tuned in to listen to us today. And you're going to hear this a lot coming from us, but everything begins with a commitment, right? So we're always going to be talking about how success is only a commitment away.